Welcome to the Ask Jordan podcast, answering your questions about selling on Amazon. Now, with a mouth bigger than any fulfillment center, from Long Island, New York, here's your host, Jordan Malik.
Hey, do you like that intro or what? We can't take ourselves too seriously. Yeah, welcome. This is Jordan Malik. I'm your host of the Ask Jordan podcast, where I answer your questions about selling on Amazon. Hey, this is our first podcast episode, and it's our worldwide debut. I want to thank you for listening. There are a ton of Spreecasts and Google Hangouts and podcasts, etc., about selling on Amazon. You chose to listen to me, and I'm extremely thankful. Believe me, I don't take this for granted for a second. So we answer one question on each episode, just like all future episodes. So if you're at the end of this and you're like, geez, that was kind of short, well, it's supposed to be. That's what we like to do. Give you quick information you can take action on about selling on Amazon. No pontificating, no drolling on, no grainy video of me wearing goofy sunglasses, nothing like that. So keep checking back at AskJordan.net because future Ask Jordan episodes are going to be posted there very quickly, each one answering another question from you, the Amazon seller. It's my goal to make the podcast the most listened to Amazon seller podcast, and you make that happen. If your question is answered by me on my podcast, you'll get all 6 of my best-selling ebooks. So at the end of this podcast, in just a few minutes, I'll tell you exactly how you can do that. So our question today is from Beverly, and it's about pricing her items on Amazon amongst the competing sellers. Go ahead, Beverly.
Hello, Jordan. My name is Beverly Radican, and my question is, how do I determine a sensible selling price for items that are priced very high by other FBA sellers? I have been told that you should never underprice an FBA seller, but the prices listed seem way too high or unreasonable. Should I stick with a higher price, or should I lower it to a more sensible, competitive price that's closer to non-Amazon selling prices? Thank you.
So, Beverly, you probably know this already. There's really no quote-unquote rule about meeting or undercutting other Amazon FBA merchants or any Amazon merchants on price. So if you're selling the same item, generally, not always, but generally, it's kind of a losing game if you're doing it solely to be the lowest price. And you typically end up with a price war. So when you're pricing your items on Amazon, you're lowering. Everybody's kind of following suit. Generally, that happens, and people get into a price war. And before you know it, the only winning person in all that is the consumer, who gets something at typically sometimes far below your cost. So here's what I do. I'm going to tell you what I do. About 50% of the time, I am the lowest Amazon FBA price. Okay, that's not all the prices. That's the lowest Amazon fulfilled price. If, and I only do that if I'm getting at least 100% ROI on the sale. Okay, so by 100% ROI, I mean I'm selling the item at a price that pays for the cost of my item, my cost, and pays for the various fees to have Amazon sell it and for me to ship it in, etc. And enough to pay me an extra amount equaling the cost of the item. Okay, so I have an item that I bought for $10. I sell it on Amazon for $30, and I pay Amazon very roughly $10 in fees, and then I keep $10 profit. Okay, so that's roughly half the time for half the amount, not half the time, half the amount of my items. The other half of my items, I generally keep my price higher than the lowest Amazon fulfilled price at my desired ROI. So I try to get like 150% or whatever, 150% ROI. Here's what I do, or here's what I recommend you do if your product is not selling and it's been in Amazon's warehouse for at least 60 days. That means you've shipped it in, you've kind of kept your price high at where you want to sell it to get a nice ROI, and it hasn't sold. If you want to be conservative, just start reducing your price after 60 days. Reduce your price by 5 to 10% every few days. You can do that manually, right, by going into your seller settings. If you want to go for the jugular and just sell the product, price it at the lowest you can, but ensure you're getting a selling price at least 3 times what you paid for the item, right? The example I just said a few minutes ago about selling an item for $30 if you bought it for $10. If after 6 months it's still not moving or not moving much, then you need to consider cutting your losses and underpricing it or pricing it at the lowest. Get whatever income you can from the product and just move on. Don't overthink it. Now, the alternative to that is that if you're seeing a price war on your item, a lot of sellers competing for the same customer and lowering their prices, and you can afford to wait for all the other sellers to fight it out. And then have them keep lowering the prices, and you just stick to your higher desired price. Now, that's not going to work all the time, but if your item has a reasonable overall sales rank, and I don't know the category that you're referring to, but I'm going to just guess that your sales rank of the item is in the top 15% of the respective category, then there's a reasonable chance your item is going to sell sooner or later. Beverly, thank you so much. Beverly gets all 6 of my best-selling ebooks about selling on Amazon and eBay. They're worth well over $30 total. Beverly, you can contact me at askjordan.net. AskJordan.net. Click on the little mailbox icon in the upper right-hand corner, Beverly, and shoot me an email so I know where to send the ebooks to. If you have a question about selling on Amazon that you'd like answered, go to AskJordan.net. That's AskJordan.net. The word ask, the word Jordan together.net. Or call, this is an automated answering machine, 516-619-ONLINE. It's 516-619-6654. If I pick your question to answer, you'll get all 6 of my best-selling ebooks. The total price for everyone else is over $30, and you get to hear your voice on my podcast. Hey, thanks for listening. Stay bookmarked at AskJordan.net, and we'll see you in the next episode.